Today's question comes from Tim in Pennsylvania. I have a 16-year-old son that does nothing but play video games. He seems to think he will be a rich YouTuber. How do I motivate him? Whew. It's a big one. I feel like this generation, I've heard a lot of kids recently saying they want to be a YouTuber. And I think it kind of falls into two buckets.
It's like saying I want to be an influencer. Shoot me, you failed as a parent. Oh my gosh.
But I will say there are people doing YouTube. So
yeah, and there are people doing influencing. It's not anything to be proud of, though.
But before you come down on him, I would see if there are some nuggets there that could be a career. So does he potentially like videography? Does he like engineering? Is there some type of design work that could interest him? So dig into that and, see, is there something in that space? Now, if you start pushing him to explore different options and he's not interested in that, then it might truly be a motivation problem. But I would first see if there are any nuggets of some sort of career path that might be in there that's not just being an influencer or a YouTuber.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, we're on YouTube and we make a lot of money on YouTube, so you can make money on YouTube. I'm not saying that. And I guess in a sense, in a weird kind of a way, we're influencers, except we really do stuff and have actual thoughts. We're not just famous for being famous. But but here's the thing, Tim. The way I would approach it is this. I would take him somewhere away from your house. Coffee at a minimum. Camping would be better. And just say, my job as your dad is to prepare you for adulthood, to turn you into a good adult. A good adult has a good understanding that work is where money comes from. So my job as your dad is to teach you to work. I have failed, and I'm sorry for that, because I've allowed you to sit in the basement and play video games. That's not work. And so you're going to start learning to work. The bad news is I've messed up. The worst news is you're about to learn to work. You're going to start doing some things where you learn how to work, because I don't want you being 38 years old and living in my basement. So you're going to learn how to work. I love you too much to allow you to think that playing video games is an actual job. It's not. It's what you do for fun. It's a cool hobby. It's exhilarating, but it is not an actual job. And so I'm going to help you learn to work. Now, part of that might be the nice things that Christina was saying, because I'm an old dinosaur dad and she's a nice lady. So, but the nice part of part of that is, I think you may be drawn to something like video work. You might be drawn to something that has something to do with the gaming world or the YouTube world. And I'm fine to help you explore some of that. Let's get a camera and let's see if you can actually make some money doing this. And let's do, maybe make some money that's not on YouTube and not have to do with a video game, but still has to do with those same kinds of skills. And discover some of those skills, help him discover some of those skills, and scratch the itch that he's got if it is a creative itch. If it is not a, I want to sit on my butt itch. Because some of these people do want to sit on their butt when they're 16. Most of us did, by the way. Some of us just had fathers that wouldn't allow it and mothers that wouldn't allow it. And so, your mother would jacked you up if you'd have come in saying that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My mom is a challenger, and she would have nothing to do with that. But
yeah. She would have been more like me than you.
Oh,
you were
sure.
like, well, let's discover his gifts. And I'm like, kick his butt. But but both of them have the same motivation. Both answers are, how do we help the child? Not what Tim wants, but what he wants for his son. I want my son to become a man.
Right.
Men work.
Right. And it's a loving challenge. It is a challenge that is a challenge. We're not going to tolerate sitting around playing video games. That's off the table.
Grown-ups. I shouldn't say men. Grown-ups work. Let's just call it that, okay? And so, you find your gifts. The Bible talks about train up a child in the way he is old, in the way he is molded, or the old King James says, in the way he is bent. In the way he is bent, the way he's designed. Train up a child in the way, so that's what you're saying. pull those gifts out, start using them. But, sitting around saying, I really have no plans in life because I want to be a YouTuber, this is not a plan, young man. This is not a plan. This is a good way to end up broke. And so you've got to have something more than that. But dig in, and take him out of the house. This is not sitting in his bedroom or your bedroom or the living room. It's got to be away from the house. This is a mano a mano, a man-on-man discussion. I am your dad. I love you so much. I'm going to help you become a man, my son.
Absolutely. This question reminds me a lot of when people talk to me about their kids not wanting to go to college. Some people get really negative about that right away. They think, oh my gosh, my kid's going to fail. They didn't go to college. And it's like, that's not the case. They just may have interests that don't lie within the realm of college. So maybe talk to them about a trade program, talk to them about a vocational program, like really lean into their interests and see what they are. But bottom line, we're not going to sit at home and eat cheese puffs all the time. Like, you're going to do something.
Well, you know why they call them starving artists? Because they don't make much art. Yeah. And so but there are plenty of artists that make a lot of money.
Right.
Because they create a lot of art. And you know why they call them starving songwriters? Because they don't write a lot of songs. But I've got friends who are in Nashville who've written 1,000, 2,000 songs. And if I said their name, you would know their name. Ta-da! They sold a lot of songs. But there's a work ethic involved in the creative process. You don't sit around and wait on roast duck to fly in the window. You go shoot the duck, pluck the duck, and cook the duck. This is where duck comes from. It doesn't just fly in the window already roasted. And so this is the lesson that's missing in this question.
Right. I think that a lot of times this question of how can I be a YouTuber, it's because the kids are saying the glamorous side of YouTube. They're saying, an influencer, and that's cool, but it's like, no, you got to be willing to do the work.
Man, I'm telling you, the people that make it we've had 1 billion downloads on this podcast. The people that make it in the podcast world, they work. We show up here every day, 3 hours a day doing this. And we like it. We have fun doing it. But, most people don't understand that's where this comes from. So what Malcolm Gladwell calls in Outliers 10,000 hours of practice before you're successful. And it may involve doing a whole lot of stuff that's not on YouTube before you get there.